Well, it is a big day for New England sports fans. The Boston Celtics had their rolling rally, but the Duck Boats might have been needed in Loudon, New Hampshire instead. That's where we find our very own Taylor Viles, as rain has already interrupted on-track action in New Hampshire. So Taylor, we're keeping an eye on this forecast for the weekend. It doesn't look great, but if you stay dry today?
Well, I've stayed dry in the media center, Lauren. Now, the forecast has been the focus of the race officials and fans as the weekend festivities get underway. It stayed dry for the first chunk of the day, but about a couple hours ago, the rain began to pick up. And as you can see right now, it's starting to come down. We're right outside of the media center. Now, most notably, the rain picked up on the very first lap of practice for the Xfinity Series race. It has continued off and on, canceling both practice and the qualifying rounds for the Xfinity race. Of course, the rain staying away is most important for the next 2 days. Tomorrow's busy schedule starts with the modifieds at 10 a.m. That was moved up from the evening because of weather, and then the green flag will wave at 3:30 for the Xfinity Series race. On Sunday, it's all about the USA Today 301, kicking off at 2:30. Coming up both in this newscast and at 7 p.m., we'll hear from 4 drivers taking to the racetrack tomorrow afternoon for the Xfinity Series race. We'll have more, as I said, coming up in a bit. Lauren, back to you.
The 45th Vermont Governor's Cup was postponed last night due to poor weather, but our racing weekend has just begun. Let's go back live to Taylor Viles at the New Hampshire Motor Speedway.
Hey Lauren, well yeah, it's all about rain, go away today in Loudon. Coming up, we will tell you what's on the slate for the Magic Mile this weekend, and we'll hear from 2 local racers on what they look forward to tomorrow. Hey everyone, well ABC 22 has made it to the Magic Mile, New Hampshire Motor Speedway in Loudon. And if you like racing, listen up, because this you will love. If you don't, still listen, because this weekend has a chance to be a once-in-a-lifetime experience for all of us. Now, it was dry earlier in the day, but a continuous drizzle did pause and eventually end both the Xfinity Series practice and the qualifying rounds, so they fall back on points to determine the starting lineup. That means points leader Cole Custer will start on the pole in the Xfinity Series race. Tomorrow, a full slate of action, including the modifieds, and of course on Sunday, it's the main item of the weekend, the USA Today 301. Earlier, our Matt Holderman and Luke Marcheski talked with 2 New Englanders suiting up for tomorrow's Xfinity Series race.
Hey everyone, we're here at the Magic Mile getting ready for Xfinity Series practice, and I'm joined right now by the driver of the number 5 Chevrolet Camaro, Anthony Alfredo, back near home for you. How exciting is it every time you get to come back near your neck of the woods?
Oh, it's always a blast. Obviously, a lot of friends and family come out. I grew up only about 2 hours from here in New Hampshire. Just have a local sponsor, Steel Group, on the car, them and Anchor Advisors based out of Boston, so it's not too far for them either. This is actually one of my favorite tracks, believe it or not. It's really tough to pass at, but when you have a fast car, you can make things happen. So hopefully the Magic Mile is good for us this weekend.
Being so close to home, how much would a win or even just a good run be at this very track? One of your favorites?
Oh, if I could pick a place to win, this would definitely be up there on the list, just knowing all the people that are going to be here supporting me. And, we'll see what happens. Hopefully we can get the job done, but at the very least we want to have a good performance and, get some points, as I mentioned before, so we could stay in the hunt for that final playoff spot.
Best of luck out there the next couple days.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
All right, thank you. And with that, I believe Luke Marcheski is joined by Parker Kligerman.
Thanks, Matt. Well, from one Connecticut driver to another, Parker Kligerman back home in New England. Welcome back to New Hampshire. Any expectations for the 48 car tomorrow?
Major expectations and opportunity, I think. This place, we were pretty fast last year, so our Spike Light Cooler Chevys have been good at these types of tracks. I love coming here, obviously. It's home. The Northeast, there's nothing like summers in the Northeast. I know today's probably not the best endorsement of the weather, but I'm looking forward to it. I think we have a huge opportunity here at the Magic Mile, and hopefully we can find just that little magic and be up front and go win it.
What's it like that second half of the year where you need to balance on Saturdays racing and then on Sundays being a pit reporter?
It's funny is I actually find the pit reporting easier, and I should probably knock on wood. I'm really looking forward to the time where I win here on Saturday and then have to do that on Sunday, and that will be a very fun time.
Well, hopefully that's this weekend. Parker, good luck. Thanks for talking.
Appreciate it, guys. Have a great weekend. Thanks to all the fans for coming out. Thank you, New Hampshire. Love being here.
That's Parker Kligerman looking for a win at home.
I am now joined by Matt Holderman, back from his interview with Anthony Alfredo. Now, Matt, we've gotten a chance to hear from a bunch of racers both today and over the past few weeks, but let's hear from you. What are you most excited for this weekend?
Oh gosh, well, first of all, I'm excited to actually see some cars on track. We hardly got any of that today. It seemed like the rain finally started right when practice started for Xfinity Series. Obviously, they did one lap, and then they just waved off everything for the rest of the day when the rain started. But I think it could be a really interesting weekend if they are racing in the rain on some wet tires. I don't think they could actually go when the rain is coming down, but if the track is just damp, we might see, I think for the first time ever at New Hampshire Motor Speedway, cars racing on wet weather tires. Could be interesting. The surface could be very, very slick out there. It could make for some chaos, to say the least. We'll have to wait and see how it all unfolds.
Man, I'm looking forward to that. Now, Lauren, not sure about this, but do you have any racing experience?
Oh, Taylor Viles, funny. Let me ask you a question that interests me. Aside, okay, that was a delay apparently because he finally laughed. You know, aside from the racers that you just talked to us about, any other celebrities there? You know, people that I would care about.
I haven't seen anyone yet. Do you know of anyone, Matt?
Haven't seen anyone yet, but of course, Matthew Judon from the Patriots, I think he'll be driving the pace car on Sunday.
Ooh.
So that's one to look out for, especially for all you Pats fans out there. We'll try to catch up with him on Sunday, too, if we can.
Yeah, and anyone else we see, Lauren, we will make sure to let you know, because we know you you love any celebrity that, that comes into the equation here at NASCAR weekend. So that'll do it for us. Back to you guys. Welcome back to New Hampshire Motor Speedway, where the rain has finally subdued tonight. It was also drier earlier in the day, meaning people were milling and grilling about the popular fan zone. Now, we caught up with several people from our coverage zone and beyond as they enjoy the pre-race festivities. What brought you down here to New Hampshire Motor Speedway this weekend?
NASCAR racing. They can't beat it.
Hopefully dry weather and getting them in.
Yeah.
You know, but if not, just kind of being down with all of this.
You can come here and see people from all over New England, and people travel from all over the country down here. So New Hampshire's really in the spotlight here. And you get to see the best drivers and the fastest action.
It's been fun. We met a lot of people. NASCAR fans are great. This is the second time I've been here, and it's a great time.
What makes one of the things about this weekend so great? It's the food, of course. So many options. These fans shared their favorites.
There's something new every year. We saw with candied bacon. You got to try that out.
I really like making a nice juicy burger. That's nice after the race.
Oh, you can't beat the lobster.
Busch Light. What did you expect?
Ah, yes, what's racing without beer? Now, racing is also not racing without, well, racing. We heard from a couple of drivers in our 6 p.m. newscast. Now let's hear from two teammates. One is looking for his first Xfinity Series win. The other has had plenty of success at the Magic Mile. Matt Holderman caught up with Christopher Bell at the Media Center.
I feel good. I'm excited about it, and I've been trying to run more Xfinity races over the last couple of years. So anytime I get the opportunity to, I'm going to jump on it. And yeah, it's a fun time. And you know, our day jobs in the Cup Series are very intense. And whenever you get to go down to the lower series, it's more like, you know, hobby racing. So yeah, it's going to be enjoyable to go and try and just race for fun. You know, even just like looking at the picture on the wall back there, that was the race I won. So it is rewarding going to the racetrack knowing that you're going to have capability in the car and you know that you can win the race if things go your way.
And Luke Marcheski spoke with Sheldon Creed before practice.
Well, the number 18 car has seen a lot of success here at New Hampshire Motor Speedway, and now there's a new driver this year, Sheldon Creed. First season at Joe Gibbs Racing, solidly in the top 10 in points at the halfway mark coming into the playoffs. How have you fit into the culture at Joe Gibbs halfway through the season, coming from a different team last year?
Yeah, I mean, I fell in love with it right away. It's been great working with everyone at Joe Gibbs Racing and Toyota. I feel like we're starting to find our stride here, and we're coming off 3 really good weeks. So Loudon's a great racetrack for Joe Gibbs Racing in general, and yeah, just looking to keep our momentum going.
Now, the threat of weather has been here all weekend. Have you done any wet weather prep at all? I know the flat corners might make it a little easier, but also sliding up the track might be a little more treacherous for the cars out there.
Yeah, I don't know. It's going to be tough. Hopefully, obviously, the weather stays away, but if we do, I think it's going to be new for everyone. We're all going to have to figure it out. And there's not a lot of data or anything to show.
Well, Sheldon, good luck out there tomorrow.
Thank you.
That's Sheldon Creed looking for that win in New Hampshire.
Thanks, Luke. Well, coming up tonight, two of the top contenders for the Xfinity Series race give us their thoughts ahead of the big race tomorrow. One of them was supposed to make his Thunder Road debut last night before it got rained out. For now, though, reporting live from Loudon, I'm Taylor Viles. Hey everyone, Taylor Viles reporting from Loudon, New Hampshire tonight as we continue to prep for what should be an electric weekend here from New Hampshire Motor Speedway. It was dry for a good chunk of the day, but the rain picked up just as the Xfinity Series practice started. It canceled both practice and qualifying. That means points leader Cole Custer will start on the pole in the Xfinity Series race. He says he expects to finish the race, but is worried it might be on a wet track.
It's impossible to say. I mean, at this point, I mean, I could see them running us in the rain, you know, like it just depends on the forecast and how everything looks. But I mean, I could see us running in a full-on rain race. I don't know, you know, like just with how the weather looks like right now. But you just try and take it lap by lap and kind of go from there.
Before the rain started, we caught up with Custer about everything else on his mind going into the weekend, and we heard from a driver new to the circuit but with plenty of experience abroad.
I'm joined by the 2023 Xfinity Series champion, Cole Custer. Cole, how's it going today?
Doing good, just ready to get going.
I want to start by taking you back a little bit in time. 2014 was your first win here. I think you were 16, right? All these years later, where does that rank in your personal favorite wins?
Definitely one of the biggest for sure. I mean, it was my first win in the top 3 series in the truck series, and that really, you know, kind of set the tone that, you know, I felt like I could do this, you know, as a career and be able to compete at the highest levels. So it was definitely a huge day for me, and honestly, always coming back here, it's always been a special place.
Over to Vermont now. Of course, you were supposed to be there yesterday for Thunder Road. We all know that got rained out. Are you hoping you can get there if and when they reschedule it for?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's definitely one of the coolest short tracks I've ever seen. I got to drive by it, and it's definitely lives up to its name and just how, you know, the prestige that it really has. So it's a place I've always wanted to run, and hopefully we're able to make a makeup date up and be able to try and run it again, because I'd love to get back up here.
Well, Cole, appreciate your time. Thanks so much, and best of luck in the race on Saturday.
Thank you.
Well, you just heard from the Xfinity Series points leader, but now let's send it over to Luke Marcheski, who's joined by arguably the hottest driver in the series.
Well, he has rookie stripes on his car, but he is anything but a rookie. Shane Van Gisbergen, from all the way from New Zealand to New England. How are you liking it up here so far?
I'm definitely a rookie at this stuff, but yeah, it's cool to be here. I had a look around on the way to the track earlier, had a walk around the track, and now just hoping the weather stays good, we can get our races in, but yeah, looking forward to getting out there.
You have definitely been one of the top drivers over the past few weeks. 2 wins in a row on road courses, but the ovals still, you know, as you said, still kind of a rookie at this stuff. What has the progression been like this year in the Xfinity Series, especially getting used to the car itself and then the different style of racing?
Yeah, everything you kind of just mentioned. I've never done ovals before, so it's been a huge learning curve. We were making a lot of gains and getting better and better, and then had some road courses and some great results. And then last week in Iowa we had a shocker, but that's right. That's the best thing about this sport, is there's a race the week after. So yeah, try and get back on the wagon this week, go better and better.
Shane, good luck at Loudon. Hope you have a blast tomorrow.
Great, thank you, cheers.
That's SVG looking for win number 3 on the year on an oval this time.
While Custer will have the best view of the starting line, SVG will have to work his way up the field. He starts 28th in the field of 38 cars. While the red flag kept any driver from slipping on the track Friday, one did slip up in the media center. When talking about his team, Joe Gibbs Racing, Christopher Bell spilled some news.
You know, I don't think that there really is a leadership role in that aspect. You know, and whenever Chase comes into the car, whenever I don't even know what to say.
Chase Briscoe has been rumored to replace Martin Truex Jr. in the 19 car. Now those thoughts are stronger than ever. Anyways, tough Friday at the office for Bell. Maybe he can make people forget all about it by winning this weekend. He races both Saturday and Sunday. Matt, Luke, and I will have all the racing action from Loudon starting tomorrow night at 6:30. For now, reporting from the Magic Mile, I'm Taylor Viles.
Well, we just got done in Loudon, New Hampshire, apparently with the second race of the Granite States NASCAR weekend. We find our Taylor Viles in Loudon. I think your ears are still ringing right now.
Well, yeah, Mike, luckily I had earplugs, but this was an exciting Xfinity Series race. It came down to the final couple of feet. I got all the action coming up for you in just a moment as one racer stays perfect in the Xfinity Series. Hey everyone, Taylor Viles reporting here from New Hampshire Motor Speedway. Now, over the last couple of days, we've been more likely to see boat racing than stock car racing here at the Magic Mile. The rain did clear up, though, for a seamless Xfinity Series race. Now, that race, the Psyops 200, just wrapped up, and we saw Christopher Bell taking his 4th straight win in 4 attempts in the Xfinity Series race here at the Magic Mile. We will have the full highlights from that one later on tonight. As for the NASCAR Cup Series, qualifying was rained out, giving pole position to fan favorite Chase Elliott for tomorrow's USA Today 301. Unlike the Xfinity cars yesterday, Cup cars did get up to speed during practice for just 7 laps before raindrops put a stop to the running. Now, one race that did go off without a hitch this morning was the Wheelin' Modified Tour, and the Mohegan Sun 100 proved to be a family affair. Before racing in the Xfinity race, Justin Bonsignor added to his storied modified career with his 2nd straight win at the Magic Mile. This one was special as Bonsignor in the number 51 had to hold off his cousin Kyle for the win. After the race, Justin highlighted how he was able to defend his position to take the checkered flag for the 3rd time in Loudon.
Yeah, right from the start today, car just fired off really good, and just I've learned here the more aggressive you are with trying to control the lead, in case of caution, so you're the control car on the starts. It's just very important. So anytime somebody passed me, I passed them immediately back.
With today's win, Bonsignor ties the late great Ted Christopher for 3rd all-time in modified tour history with 42 wins. He jumped right back on the track for the Xfinity race and finished 23rd, but he did lead for 3 laps of that race. Now back to the Cup Series. Two drivers who are celebrating milestones this week, and we caught up with them today. One is a New Englander who grew up enjoying the action at New Hampshire Motor Speedway for years as a fan, and he came back to this track now to race in the USA Today 301. Kaz Gralla is a Massachusetts native who grew up racing go-karts south of Boston. He has been racing in the top levels of NASCAR since 2016. Gralla has bounced between rides, landing a part-time deal this year to drive Rick Ware's Racing 15 car. He's excited for his first Cup race in Loudon and still remembers getting his first pit pass back in 2011.
I just remember as the Cup cars rolled by me, rolling out for practice, I just couldn't believe that those guys that I had seen on TV are really sitting in those cars right now, right in front of me. So it's going to be really special to get to roll out on Sunday in my first Cup race here on the pace laps, look up in the grandstands, and know that I was not too long ago just a fan here. Anyone from New England can and should feel like they've got a chance to make it. It's not easy, but frankly, it's not easy from anywhere, but your chances are just as good from up here as anywhere else.
With qualifying rained out, Gralla will start 35th in Sunday's race. That's 2nd to last. It'll be a battle, but he'll have plenty of support from friends and family. A New Englander to a new American. It was a big celebration for 2-time Cup Series race winner Daniel Suarez this week as he officially became a U.S. citizen. The driver from Monterrey, Mexico is in a bit of a difficult situation, however, as he no longer has his green card, but he is also without his U.S. passport. That's been a priority for Suarez in the Granite State. He was at the passport office in Pittsfield earlier this week applying for his travel document in order to be able to visit his family back home.
This is very funny because the quickest way for me to process my American passport was to do it here in New Hampshire, because if not, I was going to have to wait until next week. So as soon as I landed here yesterday, I went straight to the place to process my American passport, and the lady was super nice, and she said, "Daniel, what are you doing here? Why you are driver license from North Carolina? You live in North Carolina. What the heck are you doing in Loudon, New Hampshire?"
Suarez also mentioned that he wants his fiance's help in getting his passport so he can get married in Brazil next month. He will start 11th in tomorrow's race. Now, we still have much more to come from Loudon later on tonight. We will hear from pole sitter Chase Elliott, as well as a bunch of other drivers that you will see in the USA Today 301. And back in our hometown, back in Burlington, it is a huge night for the Vermont Green FC as the women's team play in their inaugural exhibition match against FC Laval. That's going on right now. Ken Drake will have all of those highlights. For now, though, reporting live from the Magic Mile, New Hampshire Motor Speedway, I'm Taylor Viles. Hey everyone, we're still in Loudon. I'm Taylor Viles. We made it through one big race day here at the New Hampshire Motor Speedway without rain hampering much of the action. We'll start with the good news. The Xfinity Series race made it through every lap and then some. These Psyops 200 got underway with wet weather tires, which proved to be a handful early on. Cole Custer took the lead early, with Matt DiBenedetto having a slow getaway. Slick tires were put on and heavy rain held off. At the end of Stage 1, 2 junior motorsports drivers battled for the lead, with Sam Mayer taking the stage win. At the start of Stage 2, Christopher Bell took the lead from Justin Bonsignor. Bell is 3 for 3 in Xfinity competition here. Following a pair of late cautions, multiple cars piled up in Turn 2, including Bonsignor, Austin Hill, and Sam Mayer. 2 more crashes caused an overtime finish. Cole Custer, Sheldon Creed, and Christopher Bell took the white flag 3 wide. Custer fell to 3rd. Creed slipped in the corner, giving Bell the advantage. C. Bell remains perfect in New Hampshire, winning for the 4th time. We heard from the top 3 post-race.
I didn't want to break it, but you know, I can't stress enough how hard winning is. And to win any race, everything has to go right. And today, not everything didn't go right, and we still snuck one out because of the circumstances. It's hard to win these things, and I'm very, very, you know, fortunate and thankful, and it's not taken lightly. You know, what has just happened.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I played the last lap the best I could from my position. I mean, yeah, just all racing hard to have a shot like that. Just got a little too loose there in 1 and 2. I think the double zero gave me like just enough of a tap to give me sideways and let the 20 roll on. So
man, it definitely stings, you know, to lead that many laps and really have such a fast car. JT and all our guys at Stewart Haas Racing did such a great job. I'm going to be really frustrated, but I'm really proud of our team, what we brought here today, and hopefully we can keep bringing that this year.
Some other things of note from the race. Carson Quaffle in the number 88 impressed to finish 5th after starting dead last, and Matt DiBenedetto was DQ'd for 3 loose lug nuts. As for the NASCAR Cup Series, qualifying was rained out, giving pole position to fan favorite Chase Elliott for tomorrow's USA Today 301. The Cup drivers did get in 7 laps of practice before that was also halted due to rain. I asked Elliott about the importance of starting on the pole, given how hard it is to pass on this track.
Certainly, we'll take a good starting spot, and more importantly, take a really good pit pick there on pit road. I always feel like the pit stall is more important than the starting spot, just because you live with the pit box all day. That can be the difference in you coming off pit road 1st or 3rd. It was just a solid effort from our group over the last 2 or 3 months to have us in a good position to take advantage of the circumstances today.
I'm joined now by Matt Holderman. Now, Matt, Chase Elliott is looking for his first win in the state of New Hampshire. It would also be the first win in 12 years in the state for his team, Hendrick Motorsports. How badly do they want this win?
Yeah, Taylor, they want this win badly, to say the very least. Hendrick Motorsports is the winningest organization in NASCAR history, and they go into every race weekend expecting to win. So having not had a win here since 2012 is unfamiliar territory for them, without a doubt. Now, as you said, Chase Elliott will have a good chance starting on pole, but two of his Hendrick teammates will be ones to watch too. Kyle Larson and William Byron both have the most wins in the Cup Series so far this year at 3 apiece. Neither of them have won at New Hampshire before, but they have been close. Larson finished 3rd place here last year. I asked them if they're feeling any extra pressure to win here, knowing how long it's been, and if it would make getting the win all that much more sweet.
I wouldn't say it adds any pressure, but I think for sure it'd mean a lot to the company if one of us 4 could win. I think it's been more than 10 years, honestly. It's a tough track, and there's been a couple teams that have been dominant here for a while now.
Yeah, Casey Kane was the last win here, so that's been a while for sure. Last year we actually had a decent car. We were a little bit tight, and then we got some damage on the splitter. Hopefully this year have a smooth execution. Maybe we can get some of that magic back.
Byron will start right behind his teammate of Elliott in 3rd place as he looks to find that magic. Meanwhile, Larson is going to have to claw his way through the field to get that lobster. He rolls off 19th. Taylor?
Loudon uses the short track package, and Team Penske has been on a hot streak when it's used. Now, let's bring in Luke Marcheski. He caught up with 2 guys in the Penske stable about what's clicking.
Thanks, Taylor. All 3 Penske drivers this year in the Cup Series have made their way to victory lane. Connecticut's own Joey Logano hasn't won a points race yet, but he did win $1 million in North Wilkesboro. Austin Cindric and Ryan Blaney have won points races. Cindric won in St. Louis. Blaney got the trophy last week in Iowa. Going into Loudon, I asked Blaney and Logano if anything learned from those races will come to light.
Short tracks have been a strong suit for us this year. Last year, I even would say the same thing. You just have to continue to learn with each other and your team and your teammates, and but at the same time, you have people in the background working on mile-and-a-half stuff.
I still think we learned a lot in Wilkesboro. We had the tire test there. We definitely tried a lot of things with the 22 car and really been able to try to carry those along with us and find some success because of it. I feel like those are really the main reasons why. And hopefully this weekend in Loudon we're able to capitalize again.
By the way, Taylor, in 2009, Logano made history by becoming the youngest driver ever to win a race at age 19. That was right here in Loudon on a June rainy day. Maybe he'll have another one tomorrow. Rain might be on his side.
Rain might be on his side. Hopefully it does stay dry, though. That's going to do it for us. We will have the action from the USA Today 3:01. If it does stay dry, that has been moved up a half an hour to 2 p.m. For now, though, reporting in Loudon, I'm Taylor Viles.
Well, turning to sports now, we find that it's NASCAR weekend in New Hampshire, the latter stages of it at least, and the rain has made itself known in Loudon once again. And Taylor
Yeah, Mike, it's been a true waiting game here at the New Hampshire Motor Speedway, but a waiting game that seems to have found its end. As you can hear behind me, these cars have just started their engines after a long rain delay. I'll have more coming up in sports in a moment. Hey everyone, Taylor Viles once again reporting from what was just a bit ago a very rainy New Hampshire Motor Speedway. Finally, the rain has cleared up, but weather has impacted every single day of race weekend, culminating here with the USA Today 3:01. We got in about 220 laps of this race before a long rain delay. Now, Tyler Reddick gained the lead after not pitting under yellow and led for 30 laps before the red flag was put out. He and his team waited patiently in the pits as the rain turned into storms. Multiple lightning delays pushed this race back further and further. It seemed for a while like this race would be called. That's what Reddick's team was hoping for, of course. Although if you can hear behind me, it seems like this race is going to continue. These cars right now on the track trying to dry it out. NASCAR working to get it dry, and lightning and more rain could put a damper on everything, of course, but the series is making every attempt to get this race in. Now, it's always fun to see a local celebrity come out for a race weekend, and we got a New England Patriot at the Magic Mile today. Linebacker Matthew Judon on site for this big race, the USA Today 3:01. He was supposed to be the honorary pace car driver, but that didn't exactly pan out.
It's a little slick, so they said for my safety
I can't do the pace car, but you know, I came out just to see like some other high-performing athletes. I ain't never been to a NASCAR race. I just know they go fast, and in a circle, you can get first or you can get last.
This is the car Brad Keselowski is going to be racing in today.
Oh, he in the red side? All right, I'm Brad too, because I'm from Michigan too.
Well, Judon on Brad K, a couple of Michigan guys repping New England. Also, given how this day has turned out, probably good. They took the safe approach with the Pats linebacker. Now, Keselowski and his Red Sox-themed car is tied 22nd going out of this rain delay. Now, Matt, unbelievable that we are still, or that we are coming back from this rain delay, I should say. What should we be on pace for here in these final about 75 laps?
Well, to put it simply, Taylor, the field just took the one to go, by the way, one lap around until they go green again, and it'll be the first time in New Hampshire Motor Speedway history that they are racing on wet weather tires on a slightly damp racetrack. Going to be fun.
Yeah, this is going to be an incredible finish here. Potential for lots of crashes. Hopefully these racers stay safe. That'll do it here from New Hampshire Motor Speedway. For Matt Holderman, I'm Taylor Viles. Hey everyone, well, what a day it was at the Magic Mile. We knew that rain and bad weather was going to affect this day, so why wouldn't it be raining for us right now? It did lead to an incredible finish late into the evening. We'll get to that in a moment, but to start the day, we got to meet all of the drivers, all 36 people going across the stage to cheers and some boos into the New Hampshire crowd. We got a chance to catch up with a few of them yesterday and hear what they had to say. Some were concerned about the rain and track conditions. Others were just excited to get started.
Brad Keselowski! There's going to be some significant weather adversity throughout the weekend. Probably a strong chance that we end up racing on the rain tires.
You're typically feeling out of control in a wet weather race, but when we did it, it was a lot better than I think we all thought it would be.
I mean, it's gotten rougher over the years, and seems like more cracks and more things that you feel upon driving around here. So
they're a passionate group of fans, and we're not always up in this area often, but they really do heavily support the NASCAR group.
This place has put a lot of people on the map from the Northeast, not just drivers, crew chiefs, crew members, you name it. It's a special place.
And New England Patriots linebacker Matthew Judon was on site for the Cup Series. He was supposed to be the honorary pace car driver, but the slick track forced him instead to ride shotgun. It's Judon's first racing experience. After a quick conversation about the different drivers, he decided who he's pulling for.
So Brad, Christopher Bell, or Bubba Wallace. You know, I came out just to see like some other high-performing athletes. I ain't never been to a NASCAR race.
All right, boys, well, let's give Matthew Judon a show. It's the USA Today 301, the main event. And on the line, of course, a massive lobster and a chance at a playoff berth. Wow, we're getting blown around here. Let's get into these highlights. The race got underway at 2 p.m., which feels like weeks ago at this point. Tyler Reddick did not pit during the stage break, giving him the lead until the rain came around 4:30 p.m. At one point, it was an absolute downpour, but the track dried and cars went back on for more than 2 hours later. On the wet track weather tires, Reddick was able to hold the lead until lap 242, and Christopher Bell passed him on a restart. It was an absolute craziness when the pack was together, leading to a 6-car pileup, including Bubba Wallace, Noah Gragson, and Austin Dillon. Overtime was needed again, a second consecutive day after multiple late cautions, but Christopher Bell held on and claimed the victory in the USA Today 301. He led 149 of the 306 laps in the extended race. Let's hear from some of our top finishers, starting with our race winner now.
What race do we want to talk about? Do we want to talk about Loudon dry or Loudon wet? Yeah, just a lot of fun. That was so much fun.
Even if if I was in the lead, it would have probably been hard for me to hold him off. So he was just really, really good all day long. And in the wet, the dry didn't matter. So, yeah, for us to finish second, a good solid day with, having a truthfully probably 25th place car, we were not very good.
It's funny seeing some guys that have no dirt experience just drop anchor right away. It's like, they have no clue where to be. But thankfully for us, it worked out early, and I got a big chunk of cars quicker than I thought I would.
Well, what a weekend it was here at the Magic Mile. You know, my first experience here at Loudon, and I couldn't have done it without these two guys on my side, Matt and Luke. Thank you so much for all of your help. Now, I got to ask you guys, what did this weather do to this racing today?
Oh my God, not just today, also yesterday. The Xfinity Series race, the first 10 laps were in wet weather conditions. And then today, the end of the race was in wet weather conditions, but at the end of the day, Christopher Bell took home both trophies, a really impressive show, and he said it best, wet, dry, two totally different Loudons, and he mastered both.
And Matt, what is your takeaways from this race?
Oh gosh, I mean, I just feel bad for Tyler Reddick, honestly. I was standing down in his pit stall the entire 2-hour rain delay. He and his team were waiting for NASCAR to make the call that the race was over. They weren't going to restart it, but they did restart it with those wet weather tires, something we've never seen before in the Cup Series here in New Hampshire, and it put on a heck of a show. Dream come true to be here for this, guys. It was great working with you.
It was great working with you too. Yeah, Tyler Reddick thought he won this race. Christopher Bell, the winner of the weekend, really. What a weekend it was here at the New Hampshire Motor Speedway from Christopher Bell. That is it for us. We will head to break right now. For Matt Holderman and Luke Marcheski, I'm Taylor Viles in Loudon. Hey everyone, Taylor Viles reporting from the New Hampshire Motor Speedway, and what a day it was from the Magic Mile. Now, we knew the forecast wasn't favorable for Sunday's big race, but man, we had no idea how exciting it would make it late in the evening. Before the race got underway, the New Hampshire crowd got to meet all 36 drivers in the field as they were introduced on stage. We caught up with a handful of the drivers beforehand to hear their expectations for the race. Some were concerned about the rain and track conditions, others were just excited to get things started.
There's going to be some significant weather adversity throughout the weekend. Probably a strong chance that we end up racing on the rain tires.
You're typically feeling out of control in a wet weather race, but when we did it, it was a lot better than I think we all thought it would be.
I mean, it's gotten rougher over the years, and seems like more cracks and more things that you feel upon driving around here. So.
They're a passionate group of fans, and we're not always up in this area often, but they really do heavily support the NASCAR group.
This place has put a lot of people on the map from the Northeast, not just drivers, crew chiefs, crew members, you name it. It's a special place.
And New England Patriots linebacker Matthew Judon on site for the Cup Series. He was supposed to be the honorary pace car driver, but the slick track forced him instead to ride shotgun. It's Judon's first racing experience. After a quick conversation about the different drivers, he decided who he's pulling for.
So Brad, Christopher Bell, or Bubba Wallace. You know, I came out just to see like some other high-performing athletes. I ain't never been to a NASCAR race.
All right, boys, let's give Judon a show. It's the main event, the USA Today 301 on the line, a massive lobster, and of course, a chance to earn a playoff spot. The race got underway at 2 p.m., which feels like weeks ago at this point. Tyler Reddick did not pit until the stage break, giving him the lead until the rain came around 4:30 p.m. At one point, it was an absolute downpour, but the track was dried and cars went back on the track. More than 2 hours later, Reddick had thought he'd won, but he had to keep on racing. On the wet weather tires, Reddick was able to hold the lead until lap 242, and Christopher Bell passed him on a restart. It was absolute craziness when the pack was together, leading to a 6-car pileup, including Bubba Wallace, Noah Gragson, and Austin Dillon. Overtime was needed after multiple late cautions, but Christopher Bell held on and claimed the victory in the USA Today 301. He led 149 of the 306 laps in the extended race. Let's hear from some of our top finishers, starting with our race winner now.
What race do we want to talk about? Do we want to talk about Loudon dry or Loudon wet? Yeah, just a lot of fun. That was so much fun.
Even if if I was in the lead, it would have probably been hard for me to hold him off. So he was just really, really good all day long, and in the wet, the dry didn't matter. So, yeah, for us to finish second, a good solid day with, you know, having a truthfully probably 25th place car. We were not very good.
It's funny seeing some guys that have no dirt experience just drop anchor right away. It's like, yeah, they have no clue where to be, but yeah, thankfully for us, it worked out early, and I got a big chunk of cars quicker than I thought I would.
Now, the focus throughout the weekend here at New Hampshire Motor Speedway was, of course, the weather, but all 3 big races were able to be completed on the day they were originally scheduled for. We just got over talking about the USA Today highlights. Let's take a look at the other races from the weekend. On Saturday morning, Justin Bonsignor won his second straight modified series race in New Hampshire. He held off his cousin Kyle for the victory. And in the afternoon, we were treated to an overtime thriller in the Xfinity series. Cole Custer led for much of the final stage, but it was Christopher Bell taking advantage of a stumble down the stretch 3 wide. He was the first to checkers for his 4th Xfinity win in 4 tries, and of course, he swept the weekend. Well, what a weekend it was here at New Hampshire Motor Speedway. This was my first time covering racing at such a big track. Of course, not like Thunder Road. Could not have done it without these 2 racing experts at my side. Matt and Luke, thank you so much for your help. Now, Luke, tell me what your takeaways were from the last couple of days.
Really, it all started with the first 10 laps of the Xfinity Series race. Wet conditions being used. The track dried up really quickly because thankfully the rain held off. Slick tires went on after a couple of great laps of racing action. Then on Sunday, it was totally different, the USA Today 301. Most of the race done in the dry. Rain, heavy rain hit. They had to go onto the wet weather tires at the end of the race, but both times, somehow, Christopher Bell, as he said, 2 different Loudons, he took the win and the sweep.
Yeah, well, what an unprecedented weekend it was. And Matt, the USA Today 301, what did you take away?
Well, I mean, unprecedented is the perfect word for it, Taylor. I mean, we've never seen the Cup Series or the Xfinity Series, I think, race on wet tires here at New Hampshire Motor Speedway. I just feel so bad for Tyler Reddick, though. He had the win. It seemed clinched at some points when we thought NASCAR was going to call the race for rain. I was in his pit stall waiting for them. They were excited, hoping to get the win, but ultimately just wasn't his day. Christopher Bell could not be beat this weekend.
Yeah, what an incredible weekend it was. Well, that'll do it for us. For Matt Holderman and Luke Marcheski, I'm Taylor Viles signing off for the final time from New Hampshire Motor Speedway.